Jai Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jai Gauranitai. Jai Gauranitai, Jai Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jai Gauranitai. Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jai Gurudev, 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 Jai Gurudev. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. Gaura, Gaura, Gaura Haribo. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Pariva Jagacharya Astu Terasata Sishimadhi Divangis ISKCON Foundercharya Jagat Guru Sisi Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Pariva Jagacharya Astu Terasata Sishimadhi Divangis Bhakti-siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananda Gaudiya Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopal Gopina Shama Radha Kunda Giri Gauravadan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Mathura Dham Ki Jai, Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Swami Ki Jai, Jamuna Maya Ki Jai, Ganges Maya Ki Jai, Tulasi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Nitai Gaura Premanandi. All glorious assembled devotees, all glorious assembled devotees. All glories assembled devotees, all glories to Shishi Guru Sri Gauranga. Namam Vishnu Padya Krishna Vijay Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Divim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Nashtapraisha Badreshu Nityam Bhagavati Sevaya Bhagavati-uttama-sloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshulul Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam rupa kadamahyam dadati swapadantikam Bandeham Shri Gurun Shri Yudapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Shagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagano Lalita Sri Visakan Vitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisavana Sute Devi Tunamame Hari Priya Vanchakal Pratarubhyascha Kripa Sandhivyayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Hare Krishna. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 22. Krishna steals the gopis' garments. Text 20. Acyutenābhihitaṁ vraja-abalāḥ acyutenābhihitaṁ vraja-abalāḥ matvā vivastrāplavanaṁ vrata-cyutim matvā vivastrāplavanaṁ vrata-cyutim tat-pūrti-kāmās tad-aśeṣa-karmaṇāṁ tat-pūrti-kāmās tad-aśeṣa-karmaṇāṁ sākṣāt-kṛtaṁ nemur avadya-mṛg yataḥ sākṣāt-kṛtaṁ nemur avadya-mṛg yataḥ acyutenābhihitaṁ vraja-abalā matvā vivastrāplavanaṁ vrata-cyutim tat-pūrti-kāmās tad-aśeṣa-karmaṇāṁ sākṣāt-kṛtam nemur avadya-mṛg yataḥ. matvā vivastrāplavanaṁ vrata-cyutim tat-pūrti-kāmās tad-aśeṣa-karmaṇāṁ sākṣāt-kṛtaṁ nemur avadya-mṛg acyutenābhihitaṁ vraja-abalāḥ matvā vivastrāplavanaṁ tat-pūrti-kāmās tad-aśeṣa-karmaṇāṁ sākṣāt-kṛtam nemur avadya-mṛk acyutenābhihitaṁ acyutenābhihitaṁ vraja-abalāḥ matvā vivastrāplavanaṁ tad-pūrti-kāmās aśeṣa-karmaṇāṁ sākṣāt-kṛtam nemur avadya-mṛg. Mataji, acyutenābhihitaṁ vraja-abalāḥ matvā vivastrāplavanaṁ tat-aśeṣa-kartam tat-pūrti-kāmās tad-aśeṣa-karmaṇāṁ sākṣāt-kṛtam nemur iti. In these words, acyutena, by the infallible Supreme Lord, abhihitam, indicated, vraja-abalāḥ, the girls of Braj, matvā, considering, vivastra, naked, āplavanam, debating, vraja-cyutim, a fall down from their vow, tat-pūrti, the successful completion of that, kāmāḥ, intently desiring, tat, of that performance, aśeṣa-karmaṇāṁ, and of unlimited other pious activities, sākṣāt-kṛtam, to the directly manifest fruit, nemuḥ, he offered their obeisances, avadya-mṛg, a cleanser of all sins, yataḥ, because. Translation and purport. Those young girls of Vrindavan, considering what Lord Achyuta had told them, accepted that they had suffered a fall down from their vow by bathing naked in the river. but they still desired to successfully complete their vow. And since Lord Krishna is himself the ultimate result of all pious activities, they offered their obeisances unto him to cleanse away all their sins. Report. The transcendental position of Krishna consciousness is clearly indicated here. The gopis decided that it was better to renounce their so-called family tradition and traditional morality and simply surrender unto the Supreme Lord Krishna. This does not mean that the Krishna consciousness movement advocates immoral activities. In fact, the devotees of ISKCON practice the highest standard of restraint and morality. But at the same time, we recognize the transcendental position of Krishna. Lord Krishna is God, and therefore has no material desires to enjoy young girls in sexual affairs, as will be seen in this chapter. Lord Krishna was not at all attracted to enjoying the gopis. Rather, he was attracted to their love and wanted to satisfy them. The greatest offense is to imitate activities of Lord Krishna. In India, there is a group of so-called Prakrita Sahajya who imitate these affairs of Krishna and try to enjoy naked young girls in the name of worshipping Krishna. The ISKCON movement sternly rejected this mockery of religion because the greatest offense is for a human being to ludicrously imitate the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the ISKCON movement, they are not cheap incarnations, and it is not possible for a devotee of this movement to promote himself to the position of Krishna. 500 years ago, Krishna appeared as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who practiced strict celibacy throughout his student life, and at the age of 24, took sannyas, a lifelong vow of celibacy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rigidly avoided contact with women in order to carry out his vow of loving service to Krishna. When Krishna personally appeared 5,000 years ago, he exhibited these wonderful pastimes which attract our attention. We should not become envious or shocked when we hear that God can perform such pastimes. Our shock is due to our ignorance, because if we try to perform these activities, our bodies will be afflicted by lust. Lord Krishna, however, is a supreme absolute truth and is therefore never disturbed by any material desire whatsoever. Thus, this incident in which the gopis gave up normal standard of morality and raising their hands to their head, bowed down in compliance with Krishna's order, is an example of pure devotional surrender and not a discrepancy in religious principles. In fact, the gopi surrender is the perfection of all religion. Srila Prabhupada in fact, the gopi surrender is the perfection of all religion, as Srila Prabhupada describes in Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The gopis were all simple souls, and whatever Krishna said, they took to be true in order to be freed from the wrath of Varuna Dev, as well as to fulfill the desired end of their vows, and ultimately to please their worshipful Lord Krishna, immediately abided by the order Thus, they became the greatest lovers of Krishna and his most obedient servitors. Nothing can compare to the Krishna consciousness of the gopis. Actually, all the gopis did not care for Varuna or any other demigods. They only wanted to satisfy Krishna. That is the end of the disciples of the Papa's purport. The text 20 of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 22, entitled, Krishna Steals the Gopis' Garments. Thus, the young girls of Vrindavan, considering what Lord Achyuta had told him, accepted that they had suffered a fall down from their vow by bathing naked in the river. But they still desired to successfully complete their vow. And since Lord Krishna is himself the ultimate result of all pious activities, they offered the obeisances to him to cleanse away all their sins. In the purport, it is mentioned here that the transcendental position of Krishna consciousness is clearly described here. The gopis decided that it was better to renounce their so-called family tradition and traditional morality and simply surrender unto the Supreme Lord Krishna. The gopis of Krishna, the best of all the devotees of Krishna, they knows nothing but Krishna. Their existence is just Krishna. So after worshipping Lord Krishna and worshipping Katyayani to get Lord Krishna became very pleased and satisfied. This verse described Lord Krishna fulfills everyone's desire. What about those who have deliberately taken vows to please him? Krishna will give them more attention. So the gopis have more attention of Krishna because they have taken the great vow to have only Lord Krishna as their husband. So, out of shyness, when Krishna asked them to come up to the water one by one to take their garments, they were very, very shy, which is natural for a decent and cultured person to be naked before a young boy. And Krishna saw they were feeling shy before him. To fulfill the desire of the gopis who have performed austerity to get him. So Krishna told them, you girls have committed an offense by bathing naked. So you have offended Varuna Devi. Therefore, to atone for your offenses, you should offer obeisances to Surya Dev. They were using their hand to cover their body. And Lord Krishna want them a complete surrender. Complete surrender. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura Prabhupada. He said, why will Krishna be obliged to someone who is not 100% surrendered to him? What will make Krishna to be concerned about the person? For Krishna to give us attention, we need a complete surrender. Without complete surrender to Krishna is an offense. It means we have somebody else we are equating with Krishna. So Krishna did not make mistake by saying that we should surrender to him completely. Completely. So Krishna saw the gopis, they are eternally surrendered souls to him. And what I'm saying is they're trying to cover their private. So Krishna said you have to offer obeisances to Surya, your hands above your head. So in this way they are completely surrendered, full surrender. Even if you don't want to serve Lord Krishna, even if you are not a devotee, by performing this austerity alone, you become very strong like Hiranyakasipu. It's an austerity. So, Krishna requested, you will do this sacrifice also, and you become completely free. So the gopis were thinking, which is natural for a devotee. To hell with our morality, to hell with our modesty, to hell with all those religious principles. If it is not going to satisfy Lord Krishna, what is the use of all that? We want to complete our vows to get Lord Krishna as our husband. Therefore, whatever it will take us to do, we are ready to do that. This is bhakti. This is Krishna consciousness. This is what Krishna is teaching. We may see, according to our condition, we may see Krishna asking young girls to come naked before him. We may see that. We may have so many questions in our mind why the Supreme Personality of God can do all these things. This is our problem. What Krishna is doing is to teach us the nature of a devotee, what it takes to be a devotee, what we need to do to get the mission of Krishna to attain the perfection we are looking for is full surrender. And Krishna will not use conditioned souls to teach us a lesson, because conditioned souls will not pass the test. So Krishna will use the pure devotees to teach us the lesson, because they will stand the test and exhibit what they stand for. They will show us the perfection. So Krishna will not use a conditional soul. He cannot use people who are less than gopis in love for him. So Krishna is teaching the process of surrender. You surrender completely. You are trying to cover some of your body. Your body belongs to me. You belong to me. You wanted me, and I want to satisfy that. You completely surrender to me to attain the perfection I'm looking for. The gopis, they got the message. They understood. Therefore, they are ready to do anything. What is morality? What is modesty? What is the prestige of anybody? If it is not for Krishna's satisfaction, if it does not please Lord Krishna, what is the value? Nothing has any value without Krishna consciousness. So a devotee's interest is to satisfy Lord Krishna with our activities, with our life. And the gopis are perfectly exhibiting that. So when Krishna told them, you have offended Baranadi by beating naked, this is not correct. Someone can say, well, yes, the gopis, they sacrifice their modesty, morality to please Lord Krishna. What about the offense they committed? What about that? The gopis answered that here. He used the word avadya-mṛg yataḥ. Avadya-mṛg yataḥ. They said, Lord Krishna is one who cleanses everyone's sinful activities, everyone's sinful life. So what is the problem if we surrender ourselves to Lord Krishna and forget about all the external things. Lord Krishna, he has the nature of purifying everyone, purifying everything. So if you surrender to Lord Krishna, he will also purify us from whatever may be considered offense to whoever may take offense from our activities. So this is Lord Krishna's position. And this is the understanding of the gopis. Therefore, they don't care about what is their position. So it is said here, this is the transcendental position of Krishna consciousness. What is that? Devotees of Krishna, they are ready to sacrifice anything. It is mentioned that a person like Vasudeva, there is nothing which is painful to be sacrificed in the process of satisfying Lord Krishna. Nothing which is difficult for pure devotees to give up. If that will satisfy Lord Krishna, they are ready to sacrifice. Even if it is their life, even if it is their own personal life, they are ready to do that. They are ready to take any profession. There are qualifications for that. Similarly, there are qualifications for someone to be considered a devotee or become a successful devotee. The qualification. The gopis are teaching us this qualification. A total surrender. Why are we keeping religious principles? The rules and regulations which we are keeping. What is the use? What is the end result? It is to please Lord Krishna. Rupa Goswami told us, keeping regulatory principle which is not for pleasing Krishna is useless. And abandoning regulatory principle whimsically because of our own nasty nature, it is also dangerous. The point is that a devotee is different from non-devotees because of the wonderful qualities which devotees has, or the kind of mentality devotees maintain in their life. Say devotee, a devotee. We have a certain mentality. What is that? The consciousness of a devotee is, what can I do to please Lord Krishna in everything that I do? The goal is, I must satisfy Lord Krishna by my activities, by my life. While a non-devotee does not think like that. A non-devotee always think about what will I gain from any activity that I perform. Therefore, Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, he separated devotees from non-devotees with some qualities. Krishna Bhaktan Niskam Ateva Santa. A devotees of Krishna are free from desires, from material desire, selfish desires. 100%, not some percentages. They are 100% free from all material desires, including our religious principles. Bhukti, Mukti, Siddhi, Sakaliya, Santa. They are all selfish. All are selfish. Devotees, selfless. Therefore, they are peaceful. Devotees are peaceful because they don't struggle to gratify their senses. They don't struggle to satisfy their senses. They don't struggle to maintain their so-called position in material world. They simply consider how to please Lord Krishna with activities. Therefore, they are peaceful. It is a formula a devotee maintained to be successful in the Krishna consciousness. And the formula is not only to devotees. Why? Because devotees have taken the austerity of surrendering to Lord Krishna. So they have the guide who directs devotees' life. So devotees are peaceful. Non-devotees are miserable. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur said, why non-devotees should die peacefully? Why should they die happily? What would make them to die happily, peacefully? What are they doing that will make them to die peacefully? They will die miserably. Because they are not chanting Nitai Goranga. How would they die peacefully? Only those who have surrendered their life to Lord Gora, Nityananda, what is associated, they have the chance to give up their life in the middle of kirtan or in the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this way, they leave their body smiling because they know where they are going. This is the price of surrendering life to Krishna. Like Krishna is using the gopis to teach us. So the Prophet also continued to explain. This does not mean that the Krishna consciousness movement advocates immoral activities. In fact, the devotees of ISKCON practice the highest standard of restraint and morality. But at the same time, we recognize the transcendental position of Krishna. What is morality? If one is not a devotee, he cannot understand what is morality. Just like if one is not a devotee, he can't understand what is compassion. He can't understand what is good, what is beneficial for everyone. No one knows that. Only a devotee knows, because he is undergoing a serious training by a bona fide and qualified representative of Krishna. So only devotees have access to what is right and what is wrong. What is morality? Huh? To follow all the details of the scripture, that's morality. That's morality. Huh? That is not morality. That is not morality. Look at the pure devotees of Krishna and look at non-devotees. Yudhishthira Maharaj said, all the Pandavas, we are not interested in killing people because of a kingdom. Yeah, that is good thought for Krishna. But Krishna said, I want these people dead. I want them dead. For you, it is okay, you don't want, but I want them dead, and I want you to execute that order. Is that morality? Or breaking the morality? When Yudhishthira Maharaj disobeyed Lord Krishna for morality, he fell down. And Prabhupada said, Yudhishthira Maharaj has to pass through hell because he disobeyed Lord Krishna. Because morality. Yudhishthira Maharaj, his chariot never touched the ground. He stays above the earth, no contamination. The day Krishna told him, tell light, and Yudhishthira Maharaj, he said it, but he hesitated. That hesitance, his chariot came down to earth. Morality and spirituality, the Krishna consciousness. Only devotees know what is morality. And they are ready to make any sacrifice to please Lord Krishna. That is morality. Anything which you do that pleases Krishna, that is morality. Anything which does not please Lord Krishna, even if it is approved in the scripture, is immoral. And those who follow that will go to hell. So the Pandavas, they killed 640 million people. They didn't go to hell. They went back to Godhead. While so many perfect Brahmanas who knows all the Vedas completely, they didn't go to Goloka. They didn't go to Goloka. They stay here. Because this place is meant for those who don't know what is morality. So the Hare Krishna movement, we're not teaching immorality, we're teaching morality. It requires training to understand what is right and what is wrong. Lord Krishna is God and therefore has no material desire to enjoy young girls in sexual affairs, as will be seen in this chapter. Lord Krishna was not at all attracted to enjoying the gopis. Rather, he was attracted to their love and wanted to satisfy them. Yes, that is the point. Christians want to satisfy what they have in their mind. It is what they have in mind. Krishna is trying to satisfy. It is not only that the devotees are trying to satisfy Krishna. Krishna also ready to sacrifice anything to satisfy his devotees. That is the life we have seen with Krishna. And Krishna is dealing with his devotees. So the supremacy of Krishna, or the position of Krishna being the supreme personality of Godhead, it is not the essence of Krishna. Creating this material world, or all the universes with all the wonderful facilities, is not the essence of Krishna. Being Mahavishnu, who controls everything, maintains everything, is not the essence of Krishna. The essence of Krishna is his sweet dealing with his devotees. And Lord Krishna is ready to make any sacrifice to maintain that principle for his devotees. So the gopis, they are for pleasing Lord Krishna with everything they do. So they don't care what will happen to them, even if they rejected their modesty. That they have already done. That they have already done by thinking of another man or a man. That is immorality, or than someone's husband. The gopis, all the gopis are so-called married. All the gopis, they are married, but their marriage was just an illusion created by Yogamaya to cheat Kamsa. To cheat Kamsa. They never even see themselves. The so-called husbands of the gopis never see the gopis. Never. Even though they sleep together, they never see themselves. What does it mean? What does that mean? They never see. They are seeing each other every day. Huh? They stop them from going to meet Krishna in the forest. So they see each other every day. Huh? So what does it mean they don't see? Seeing has different levels. To see has different levels. These eyes we have, what does it see? What does our eyes see? Offenses. What else do we see? It's offenses. That's what our eyes see. We see what is here, all illusion. This is what we see. It's illusion. What is not? That's what we see. Seeing is our spiritual platform. The spiritual form. The soul is seeing the soul. That is seeing. One who is not seeing the Supreme Personality of God, a Christian is not seeing, we have no eye to see, we are not seeing anything. We simply deceive ourselves in here. So, it is true that they never see themselves. It is an illusion created by Yogamaya to cheat Kamsa. This Rupa Goswami explained in his book, Vidagdha Manava. Rupa Goswami explained that. The greatest offense is to imitate the activities of Lord Krishna. In India, there are a group called Prakrita Sahajiya. Sahajiya. They are not fools. They know the goal, but they cannot attain the goal because of their offenses. Therefore, they create or make something which is very, very high, very simple, as if it is very cheap. Therefore, they are called Sahajiya. They imitate Lord Krishna, or they try to imitate Lord Krishna. They cannot imitate Krishna, but they try to imitate Lord Krishna. Which is a deadly poison. A deadly poison, because one cannot imitate Lord Krishna. We have no capacity to imitate Lord Krishna. We can try to make some attempt, but the attempt which we make will destroy us. These people imitate the face of Krishna, and they try to enjoy naked young girls in the name of worshipping Krishna. ISKCON movement sternly reject this mockery of religion, because the greatest offense is for a human being to ludicrously imitate the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the ISKCON movement, there are no cheap incarnations, and it is not possible for a devotee of this movement to promote himself to the possession of Krishna, because we have never been Krishna before. Therefore, we can never become Krishna at any time. We are eternally servant of Krishna, and Krishna is eternally the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is our relationship. It is eternal, and we cannot change it at any time. Therefore, the devotees, they simply surrender to Lord Krishna, and by surrendering to Krishna, they earn everything. And what is left is to attain the perfection of our Krishna conscious life and return back home, back to Godhead, which is shown here by the exemplary activity of the gopis. Hare Krishna. Comments or questions? Maharaj. Comments. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you.
Maharaj, here about in purport talk about morality. And the simple pastime is that the gopis were performing the vrata, that's a Katyayani vrata. And Krishna came, then yesterday everything happened. And Krishna pointed out that gopis, you have done very nice, I am very much satisfied. But since you have violated a code of morality, that is, you naked you entered in the Jamuna river, this way you have offended Varun, and plus you have avoided the codes of morality, naked. And then gopis, of course, they were out of Jamuna ji, and they have covered their private part, their palms. In this position, they are standing right in the Kadamba tree, near Kadam tree. Krishna pointed, and then immediately, as soon as Krishna pointed out that you have violated the codes of morality, immediately those gopis, first they have covered their private part, their palm, they raise their hand, and they offer obeisances to the Varun Dev in order to matvā vivastrāplavanaṁ. They understood that by entering naked we have offended Varun Dev. Immediately, according to instructions of Krishna, they folded their hand and they offer obeisances to. It appears absolutely that they did not want any slightest a void of the codes of morality that they offered. Here in this purport, absolutely opposite. Means they have covered their private parts with their palm. That was also morality. And other, it said that according to purport, it seems that it was immoral. It was morality. So rather covering part, private part, their palm was moral life, and offering obeisances to the demigod, Varun, it was also type of morality. So how come in this purport whole, from beginning to end, talks about they give up all morality, means covering their private part what the immoral, and they give up in the offer of senses to demigod. So it doesn't look very, I mean, at least I have no right to comment on this part. But if we want to please Krishna, it's not the more, if we follow the codes of morality, then Krishna will be very much discouraged. No. Rather, we should stick to the morality as possible, maximum. So you are also talking about they give up all the codes of morality. Means what they give up, they uncover their private part. So covering private part was the morality they gave up. And offering obeisances to the demigod, the Varuna. So it is a little, if not bewildering, at least it is not very much clear what the text talks about.
What the text is explaining is, I was explained that from the beginning. The text is placing the gopis on the topmost platform. Why?
Pleasing the Lord Krishna, here directly Krishna was talking. They did. What they did, they pleased Krishna, and Krishna became very satisfied. Matvā vivastrāplavanaṁ vrata-cyutim. In their vrata, in their vow, I mean, Katyayani vrata, they are worshipping. Vrata-cyuti was, discrepancy of vrata was because they have vivastrāplavanaṁ. Vivastra, naked bathing. This was vrata-cyutim, discrepancies in their vrata. In order to rectify that discrepancy, or in order to atonement that what was the immorality, they offer obeisances to Varuna, right in, and Krishna directly, personally, in front of them, they were talking that you offer obeisances to Varuna because you have offended, and they did. So where is question of when avoiding the codes of morality in the part of gopis? How you can say that they give up all the morality and just they simply
they are offering obeisances to Varuna Dev is not the essence of this verse. And that is not the intention, the reason why they offer obeisances. They offer obeisances is not about demigods. Everything they did is Krishna wanted this as you do it to please Krishna. That is the point. And they please Krishna in that way. Obeisances they offer is a separate thing. Why? What is the reason for their offer obeisances? Is Krishna. Our purpose of this vow is to get Krishna. So even though we have done something which will break this vow, we can rectify it. Why are they interested in this? Is to please Krishna. And that is what this verse stands for. And they please Krishna by doing that. Therefore, they are exalted devotees, comparable to none. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Nitai good Premanande, oh glorious assembled devotees.